clear video footage showing an extremely physical and widely debated defensive approach against the Indiana Fever has taken over the internet. At the center of it all is Sophie Cunningham, who completely changed the conversation and sparked huge reactions online. During this weekend's much-anticipated preseason game between the Indiana Fever and the New York Liberty at the Barclays Center, the TV broadcast failed to capture what was really happening on the court. Many of the physical moments were barely mentioned. The tough defensive style was largely overlooked. But fan-recorded videos quickly spread across social media, revealing the intensity of the action and putting the entire WNBA community into discussion. Cunningham did not become the biggest story because of her three-point shooting. She gained attention because she turned the court into a protected zone, constantly blocking, creating space, and keeping defenders away from Caitlin Clark. Even Breanna Stewart, one of the New York Liberty's biggest stars, experienced firsthand why the Indiana Fever are earning a reputation as one of the league's toughest teams. Welcome back to WNBA Pro, where basketball is discussed with direct opinions and detailed analysis. If you are expecting carefully polished talking points, this is not the place for you. Today we are examining the viral clips of Breanna Stewart's disputed off-ball contact, Sophie Cunningham's fearless role as Clark's protector, the Liberty's defensive approach, the value of Cunningham's contract, and the popular TikTok celebration that further strengthened the Fever's growing team identity. Now, let's begin by looking at the moment that triggered Cunningham's viral response. To understand why she started creating space with such determination, you first have to watch the unedited fan footage that received very little attention during the broadcast.
Hey, real quick, let me kill this sound because it got copyright music. You guys see that? Did y'all? And now she throwing up her hands. She's throwing up her hands like she ain't just damn me. Boom. Lead forward and assault Sophie Cunningham, bro. Dirty fucking play there. That was a dirty play. Now, it looked like the referee actually might call this. It says we need.
Before Sophie Cunningham became the focus for her physical screens and aggressive play, she was a player who took a hard hit from former MVP Breanna Stewart. Watch the original fan footage carefully. As Cunningham moves around the perimeter, Stewart steps directly into her path. But instead of simply setting a solid legal screen, Stewart appears to lean her upper body forward and drives a forceful elbow toward Cunningham's chest. Right after the contact, Stewart quickly raises both hands while looking toward the referee, reacting as though the collision happened by accident. That sequence has since become one of the most debated moments from the game.
So this is a slow motion version of it. So as you guys can see here, just look at this. Boom, bro. Boom. Just completely look at Breanna Stewart's face. And this is who we got in charge of negotiating the CBAs. Look at this. Like, how do something like this happens always?
Watching the replay in slow motion helps explain why this play has created so much discussion. Stewart's feet continue moving beyond the three-point line as she shifts her body forward into the contact. Her arm extends away from her body, increasing the force of the collision. Some viewers believe the play crossed the line and was unnecessary, while others argue it reflected the type of physical basketball often seen in high-pressure games. After taking the hit from a much taller player, Sophie Cunningham never exaggerated the contact or argued with the officials. She stayed on her feet, kept her balance, and immediately got ready for the next possession. Cunningham clearly understood the Liberty's overall game plan. New York knew slowing Indiana's fast-paced offense would be difficult, so they increased the physical pressure. Much of that attention was focused directly on Caitlin Clark.
Talking about right here. So this was Sophie here. But watch how this girl is hacking Caitlin Clark. Watch this. Caitlin Clark is getting hacked. Watch. Watch. Look at her hacking Caitlin Clark all over. Now watch Sophie. Boom. Now, when Sophie did...
Take a close look at how the New York Liberty defended Caitlin Clark around the perimeter. Notice the constant hand-checking, the defenders staying extremely close, and the repeated physical contact as Clark tried to run the half-court offense. The Liberty appeared to believe the officials would allow a high level of physical play without calling many fouls, forcing the young star to battle through constant pressure. That was the moment Sophie Cunningham responded by challenging the entire defensive strategy. The cameras captured her doing what has become one of her biggest strengths in the WNBA. She delivered strong, determined screens that made her intentions clear. She consistently created room for Clark by moving defenders out of the way with a level of toughness and intensity that is rarely seen in today's game.
Sophie didn't look like she leaned into her, bro. Let me see. Nope. I don't think she did. I don't think. Oh, and old girl flopped. Look at this damn flop. She threw her arms up and everything. Now, if we go back and look at what happened to Sophie, like people want to say Sophie did the same thing.
One moment from the game quickly became the biggest talking point online. Caitlin Clark attacked the basket with speed while a Liberty defender moved toward her from the blind side. At that exact moment, Sophie Cunningham rushed in from the weak side and delivered the kind of strong, determined screen that reminded fans of old-school NBA enforcers. She did far more than create a little space. She completely controlled the area. Cunningham firmly placed herself between Caitlin Clark and the approaching defender with a level of toughness that surprised everyone inside the arena. Then came the dramatic response from the New York Liberty defender. After Cunningham set a legal, well-positioned screen to protect Clark, the defender threw both arms into the air and fell backward onto the court, clearly trying to convince the officials to make the call.
Look at Sophie. Sophie ain't flopped. She immediately, Breanna Stewart, a big gal. Look, she ain't throw her hands up. See, there's a big difference. Watch this one here. Look, she flopped. That was a half second.
Now compare that dramatic fall with the way Sophie Cunningham reacted after taking the hard elbow from Breanna Stewart earlier in the game. Cunningham absorbed the heavy contact without complaint, while the Liberty defender hit the floor after a legal screen in hopes of drawing a whistle. Many fans pointed to that difference as the contrast between a physical competitor and a player trying to influence the referees. The clip quickly spread across social media, where many basketball fans began calling Cunningham Caitlin Clark's personal bodyguard. Stewart, who was involved in the earlier contact, also became part of the discussion as the video continued gaining attention. Many believe teams around the league now recognize how physically committed the Indiana Fever have become. Looking back at last season, Caitlin Clark dealt with more physical play than almost anyone in the WNBA. She regularly faced hard contact, constant bumps, and aggressive defenders throughout games. According to the video's narrative, that repeated physical punishment played a major role in the injuries that ended her rookie season after only 13 games. Night after night she absorbed heavy hits, and the video argues that Sophie Cunningham was the teammate willing to answer that challenge. Now Cunningham has returned after spending 9 difficult months recovering from a torn MCL. She worked through a long and demanding rehabilitation process while wondering how well her knee would recover. The Fever later signed her to a 1-year contract worth exactly $665,000, and she accepted because she wanted to remain with the team. She embraced the role of protecting one of basketball's biggest stars. During Saturday's game at the Barclays Center, Cunningham showed that months of rehab had not changed her style of play. She shot 5-4-8 from the field, scored 13 important points, and finished with a strong +8 rating. Her physical style has always created debate. The tough moving screens she sets often push the limits of what officials will allow, and there will likely be games where that leads to technical fouls. Even so, having a healthy Sophie Cunningham changes the way opponents defend Caitlin Clark. When defenders know that extra physical contact will immediately be matched by Cunningham's intensity on the next possession, many think twice before playing that way. That impact has become a major part of her value. After the win, Sophie Cunningham shared a TikTok video that quickly attracted widespread attention. Standing in her New York hotel room, she lip-synced to "Here for the Party" by Gretchen Wilson, proudly showed off a repaired knee, and asked fans to fill the chat with wins. The video perfectly reflected her personality. She competes with intensity, enjoys every victory, and brings excitement that makes her one of the league's most recognizable players. From the Indiana Fever's perspective, signing Cunningham to a 1-year contract could prove to be one of the team's smartest moves. She provides leadership, toughness, and value that extends well beyond the box score. If she continues performing at this level, teams such as the Phoenix Mercury or the Las Vegas Aces could try to sign her in the future. Losing her would mean losing an important defender, a strong locker room presence, and a key part of the team's identity. That is why the Fever may eventually need to consider a long-term extension before another franchise makes its move. Every opponent on Indiana's demanding schedule is expected to feel Cunningham's impact this season. She has returned with confidence, and Caitlin Clark now has stronger protection on the court than before. A special thanks goes to loyal channel members like Sarah, Mark, and David for supporting the channel and encouraging detailed basketball analysis. Be sure to subscribe if you enjoy this style of in-depth coverage, and share your thoughts in the comments about your favorite Sophie Cunningham moment from this weekend. Don't forget to turn on notifications because the next preseason matchup against the Dallas Wings is on April 30th, and we'll be covering all of the action. As this game showed, Sophie Cunningham brings much more than scoring to the Indiana Fever. Her physical style, energy, and willingness to stand up for her teammates have made her one of the team's most valuable players. Whether fans agree with every play or not, there is no denying that her presence changes the way opponents approach Caitlin Clark and the Fever. The discussion surrounding her screens, defensive intensity, and leadership will likely continue throughout the season. At the same time, Indiana's growing chemistry and competitive mindset have given fans plenty of reasons to be excited about what lies ahead. If the Fever continue playing with this level of confidence and toughness, they could become one of the toughest teams to beat in the WNBA. What do you think? Was Sophie Cunningham simply playing hard basketball, or did she cross the line? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest WNBA coverage. We will continue bringing you the biggest stories, game analysis, player updates, and every major moment from around the league. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.